The 2026 NBA playoffs is here. That means the best basketball players in the world are here to play the best basketball of the year. And we're here to discuss all of it. Welcome back or welcome to America's Sports. I am your host, Ty. Whether you just want to watch your team potentially win the championship, or maybe your team isn't in the playoffs, you just want to watch some great basketball. Maybe you would like to win a prediction or two, or maybe you just want to sound smarter than your friends and family. Whatever the case may be, we've got something for you, so let's get into it. One little fact about me, I love basketball, always have been ever since I was a little kid. Not only do I watch a shit ton of games that nobody else in the world would care about, but I also listen to way too many podcasts. However, a trend that I'm noticing that a lot of these podcasts and on the big channels like ESPN as well, they think the playoffs is going to be chalk. But in reality, the fact is in this parity era, that's just not been the case, especially over the last few years. Just last year, the number 4 seeded Indiana Pacers made it to the NBA Finals, and the number 6 seeded Minnesota Timberwolves went to the Western Conference Finals 2 years straight. In 2024, the number 5 seeded Dallas Mavericks made the NBA Finals. Plus, the Pacers again as a number 6 seed were in the Eastern Conference Finals. In 2023, a team that was in the play-ins made the NBA Finals in the Miami Heat as the 8 seed. In 2022, it was again the Dallas Mavericks as a 4 seed, this time making the Western Conference Finals. In 2021, the Clippers and the Hawks made their conference finals as a 4 and the 5 seed, respectively. And in 2020, it was the Miami Heat again making the NBA Finals, but losing in the NBA Finals. So you get it. Every year of the parity era, there is at least one team that makes their conference finals that was a lower seed or a team that wasn't really thought of getting there by many people. But the bracket is not completely unpredictable. The favorites of the last couple of seasons have indeed won the championship. And it was almost 3 years running of the favorites going to the finals and winning the finals. But Denver was slightly less favored than Boston was in 2023. So if you're thinking that there's going to be a dark horse team, or if you're thinking that, wait a second, OKC's not just going to waltz into the finals without being tested, you're onto something here. It's just a matter of finding out who that team is going to play in the finals or to get to the finals. I'll break down some of my favorite dark horses. By dark horses, we mean teams that can get to a conference finals, win a couple of rounds. First off, this is a team that I have really enjoyed watching this year, especially after the trade deadline, in the Atlanta Hawks. Just take a look at all of the roster changes that Atlanta has made. They want this. And this roster is full of guys that maybe other teams gave up on. Or perhaps those teams just weren't using that player right. And this screams dark horse. It's a team that plays with a great amount of pace, so they get up and down the floor, and they're scrappy. They're willing to defend you. And I can't help but get behind this. Now, they are playing against the Knicks in the first round, and the Knicks were very good at home. Only 3 teams had a better home record, and that was OKC, San Antonio, and Detroit. But if there was a lower seed that could pull off the upset, then it's probably Atlanta. My next dark horse favorite is the Minnesota Timberwolves, who will be taking on a team that they're very familiar with in the Denver Nuggets. Yeah, they're not really playing great right now, but their body of work over the last few seasons tells us that when it comes down time to the playoffs, they are comfortable as a 6 seed. They were literally a 6 seed a year ago, and they've beaten Denver in a playoff series before as well. So I believe they've earned our respect to be listed as a dark horse favorite. Here are some more fun facts when it comes to recent years in the playoffs. Last year, out of the 15 playoff matchups, there were only 2 sweeps, and both of them were from the number 1 seeds. In 2024, there were 3 sweeps, 2 of them by the number 1 seed. We saw 4 Game 7s last season, and OKC was featured in 2 of them. The year before that, there were 3 Game 7s, and the number 1 seed was not featured in any of those Game 7s. The Lakers, Rockets, Spurs, Trailblazers, Pistons, Toronto Raptors, and Atlanta Hawks. As a new era team, it would be their first time getting out of a first round series if any of these teams were to win the first round. Also add in the potential Phoenix Suns, Orlando Magic, and Charlotte Hornets. That's like half of the bracket. And a lot of the players on the teams that I mentioned are young and haven't won a playoff series yet. Really, all of them are young with the exception of the Lakers. This Boston Celtics group is building somewhat of a San Antonio Spurs-like dynastic era where they have not won a back-to-back, and even if they win this year, obviously they cannot win a back-to-back, but they can win 2 championships in the last 3 years, and they've been in the Eastern Conference Finals 4 of the last 5 years if they were to get to the Eastern Conference Finals as a minimum this year. So it may be the parity era, but a championship could make a dynasty out of OKC or Boston this season. And lastly, in particular to Oklahoma City Thunder, the reigning champions, there has not been a reigning champion to defend their title and go back-to-back since the Golden State Warriors did in 2018. However, of the last 2 years, like I told you, the favorites to win it all have indeed done so and won it all. So, what do you think is going to happen? Is OKC going to repeat as champions? And if not, who do you think is going to win the 2026 championship? We've got a lot more to cover for this year's NBA playoffs, and I'm going to be here for all of it. Make sure that you like and subscribe so that you're here for all of it too and get into the conversation. But that is all for this video, guys, and you will see me in the next one.